5 sorties cette année où elle a été notamment dans ce genre d'épreuve en musique, classée à Harbury et 4e du Grand Prix. La jument s'appelle Savona. Elle a donc 16 ans par son amour. Elle tournait donc au niveau Saint-Georges avant justement pour la Finlande et depuis peu sous la scène bien sûr de la cavalière qui va voir vos mains se lever et s'agiter pour lui souhaiter bonne chance et bienvenue Slattery pour l'Irlande entre en scène.
As we head now to grade 5 in the first combination into the ring in a few moments, Slattery for Ireland with Savona.
Well, welcome back to the Château de Versailles. We've seen grade 4 medals handed out, but now it's bonus time for our first rider in grade 5. Originally finishing outside the top 8 in 9th in the individual event. Sarah Slattery getting this unexpected but wonderful opportunity in the freestyle event in place of Rodolfo Rescala. So Ireland represented by Sarah Slattery, the 34-year-old with Savona. So each rider will have put together the music in order to produce this program. And of course, it's something different from the individual event.
Every rider, this is the pinnacle of their riding performance as they see it, because they are showing themselves and their horse to the music. They've chosen the music to match the horse's paces. As a rider, you have to enjoy the music yourself to be able to ride at your best to it. And the rider has a set of movements that they must perform in the test, but they can use other movements that they feel or to show their horse at the best between as linking movements, and they're going to be wanting to use those movements that show their horse to their best advantage. Just looking for the tempo of the music to match the tempo of the horse's stride.
Sarah Slattery's programme starting with levels. There and see La Mort Toujours. Little oops, I did it again. As she grabs hold of this unexpected honour in the Château de Versailles on the final day of the Paralympics and Para-Equestrian.
Yeah, now from the collected walk into the extended walk, needing to show a minimum of 20 metres of both. And those are the compulsory movements. Extended counter, again a cut. Movement that is compulsory. You need to show a simple change of leg from right to left and left to right in the counter, and those are with double coefficients, so with double marks. Floor plan put together so that it flows, putting it in such an order, the walk, trot and counter, that best suits the horse's pace paces.
Well, this wonderful occasion for the Irish rider, jumping the sport of her father Tom and younger sister Sophie, who both represented Ireland. The motto was to dream big. Certainly taking her opportunity after the horse of Rodolfo Rescala didn't pass an inspection this morning, so it would have been a very sudden start to the day. But of course, every rider who competed here would have had their program ready to go.
And one rider's disappointment is obviously another's joy to get to show their own horse at their best.
Certainly making the most of her opportunity, a young family looking on. Has been between the Netherlands and Ireland to prepare for these games, and an unexpected reprisal to perform in the freestyle. And it shows it's important where you finish in the individual event. Even if she wasn't in the top 8, she was 9th, so she was the first name out of the hat.
A moment of suspension there in the half pass. And in this grade 5, you won't see so many adaptations to the tack, but here Sarah has the loops, doesn't have quite so much dexterity in her fingers. And the loops just meaning that the reins don't slip through her hands as she's performing the movements. Just deliberating on the rhythm, the energy and the elasticity and the paces.
So it is a technical and artistic scoring that two will produce the final total. She did participate at the European Championships last year in Germany, but this a level unto itself. Absolutely giddy with the emotions of representing your country on the biggest stage of all.
In this freestyle test, indeed, there are mandatory figures that the riders have to perform, but they also have a choreography that they have to put together.
Patient wait to find out where our first rider, Sarah Slattery, will score. She certainly will place number 1, but will it be a competitive score? We saw 80% needed in grade 4 in order to grab a medal. The nervous wait will continue as we continue. Sarah Slattery, 71.795%, the benchmark at the start of this grade 5 freestyle event. As a reminder, 5. So Lisa Martin, the 52-year-old, going with Valaggio.
Even in the freestyle, the riders have the 60 seconds to enter the arena once the bell has rung, so she's just taking her moment there to compose herself as she comes back down the long side. She'll wait, signal for her music.
Teammates making their appearance on the sidelines. It's Lisa Martin's time to shine. Clearly a big Katy Perry fan. A mixture of her music for Lisa Martin and Villaggio to produce a majestic performance, they hope, in the battle for medals.
And the rider choosing their own place on the centre line where they wish to place their initial halt salute and also their final halt salute. And those two movements have only one set of marks, whereas in the straight test, the individual and the team test, each movement is worth 10. Very smoothly from the shoulder into the half pass, and this half pass a double marking movement. Very active, engaged, collected trot. Villaggio clearly listening in to his rider. He is frequently out to the side, flickering back.
Well, it's been a long wait for Lisa Martin to be back at the Paralympic Games. 8 years since her 2 fourth-place finishes in Rio. Looking for that extra little sparkle to step up onto the podium.
And the judges, ideally for the higher artistic marks, looking for the riders to change pace in the change of the music. And the riders wanting to use as much of the arena or space as possible to design their floor plan. So they'll be marked on the choreography. The artistic marks are composed of the choreography, so again the use of the arena, the inventiveness and creativity, and the suitability of those movements for the horse, playing to the horse's strengths. The rider's skill also has its own mark of 10s. And of course the harmony that we're seeing here with this combination. And also the rhythm, energy and elasticity of the paces, those all are components for the artistic marks. Simple change through walk. Double coefficient. Looking for the tempo of the horse's rhythm, the tempo of the footfalls matching the beat of the music.
Such early stages. It was the top 8 from the individual event to qualify for this honour performing in the freestyle. So 8 riders battling for 3 medals. Lisa Martin will have to have a nervous wait to find out how she will finish.
So important to keep the rhythm of that walk. The horses can anticipate sometimes, waiting for that upward transition to the canter.
We're hoping to be a champion roaring onto the podium. 52-year-olds will just be delighted to be back in these settings in the biggest show on earth. Kangaroos flying high, Team Australia, and the fans showing their appreciation for Lisa Martin back at the big time.
And the para horse is so relaxed as they leave the arena at Walker Day.
So much going into creating the freestyle program, and of course only 8 have the honor.
Every rider hopes to be among those 8 to actually go out, perform their test. You put all the planning into it, and you just so want to be out there to show your harmony with the horse, the work that you've popped in. The music just enhances you, it just lifts you so much, and the horses, they listen to the music as well. He's delighted with that.
So just missing out on medals in Rio. Currently in first place with 71.905 after the average from the technical and artistic scores. So Lisa Martin, the early advantage as the second rider to go and just edging the time. First set from Seraph Slattery of Ireland. So coming out next, Kevin Van Ham of Belgium, the 35-year-old with Eros van Ons Heem. So a reminder, grade 5, the highest of our grades, mild impairment affecting range of movement or muscle strength, or a deficiency of 1 limb or mild deficiency of 2, grade 5, also including athletes with vision impairment.
And you'll notice here with Kevin, because of the length difference in the reins, the horse will have learnt to accept the different feel on the mouth, maybe the fingers having a little bit more dexterity than the crook of his elbow, and he will have a loop on the rein there so that he doesn't lose the rein. And these are all adaptations of tact that's allowed.
A fine choice for these Paris Games. William Ego as his introduction. Hymne à la mort, Edith Piaf, and then L'amour toujours from Gigi D'Agostino. Certainly a hymn of love, an ideal title for the equestrian sports in general, in terms of the love between the competitors and their horses.
And that shines through so much through all the grades. These horses are our partners. Kevin opting to put the walk into the performance first. The riders will choose the order of the walk, trot and canter that they must perform to suit the horse. And for some, maybe the walk is more of a settling moment to start. With a half pass in the trot, and what they show on one rein, they will show on the opposite rein. And the half pass is worth double marks, double coefficient.
Well, Kevin Van Am did certainly show his potential for medals at the World Championships in 2022, 4th in the individual event. When he made his debut in Tokyo at Paralympic Games, 8th in the freestyle. He'll be focused on improving on that in his second games.
So the judges will be looking at a list of technical marks for these movements, and then at the end they'll look at the artistic marks, so the rhythm, the energy and the elasticity of the paces, the harmony, horse and rider working together, and the lightness and the ease of the movements, as well as their riding skills and the choreography.
And imagine as well, that's why the technical score is lower than the artistic one. The technical one is going to be more harshly judged.
Yes, I mean the judges are looking to give marks, but you have to be very correct to earn the highest mark, so 10 being excellent and 0 being not performed. And that movement there, the simple change, looking for the canter, the clear walk steps, the canter on the opposite leg, that may be a little bit costly for him because the horse just losing balance and rhythm. And here we see the change of stride in the canter every 3 strides. These are allowed. The tempi changes, the change every 2 or 3, every 1 or 2 strides is not allowed, but the 3s and 4 sequence changes, that's okay. And again, popping in the half pirouette in the canter, that is an allowable movement. You're just looking to join the compulsory movements, looking to join it with movements that showcase your horse, that highlight his strong points. Simple change. This one clear walk steps there. And riders will often have made an allowance in their tests that if there's a movement that's not quite come off as well as they'd hoped, they will have some of that they can pop something back in again, coming back to show that again. Extended canter, looking for the straightness, the lengthening of the frame. Comes down onto the centre line to complete his test.
Well, a big slap on the back for Kevin Van Am's Eros van Onzen. It may have just started raining at the Chateau de Versailles. Will he be reigning above all else in Grade 5? We'll have to wait until we see the scores. Of course, just the third to go. So we'll wait and see, but at least initially, we will hold that podium position before the rest of the field commence. Well, they know exactly who the real stars of the show are. Never shy to point at the ones who make this sport possible.
Very much so. Riders always appreciate their equine partner, and it is always a real partnership. Here you get a clear spot of the adaptive tap. Very clear, expressive changes every 3 strides. Listening to the rider, ears out to the side.
Soaking up every last moment. Tokyo, of course, was such a challenge for everyone for so many reasons. The crowds back in for Paris 2024, and some of the most iconic staging that we've ever seen. So Lisa Martin and Sarah Slattery, first and second, having been the first to compete in this grade 5 event. But they have been usurped. Kevin Van Am of Belgium with 73.010% of his combined technical and artistic scores to lead at this early stage.
Artistically and technically we do the average of the 5 judges, 73.010, which means Kevin Van Ham is into the lead.
6e des derniers championnats d'Europe, et puis en plus, pas moins de 4 sorties depuis justement leur première collaboration au Danemark. On l'a vu aussi à Sophie participant à Hagen.
Lotta Wallin with question mark, the world number 15, attacking this freestyle event at Paris 2024.
Au point de devenir justement l'un des groupes suédois en vue justement de cette Paralympiade. Question mark comme sa cavalière, on voit.
Now the Swedes with a flag for each of their competitors, swapping them out with perfect precision.
Sweden with the 10-year-old gelding, they've been riding together for just 3 months since the beginning.
Incredible to think just 3 months these two have been working together. So of course plenty of question marks, particularly on Wallin's Paralympic debut, and only took up para-equestrian dressage in 2022. It has been a meteoric rise for the 56-year-old, and getting her routine underway. So a little bit of summer nights, certainly not summery at the moment. Thankfully, this duo can regale us with their performance.
And while degree of difficulty is not marked, the choreography is, and she's gone straight from the halt into the half pass. Super expressive horse. The double coefficient half pass. Showing good rhythm and balance. And the judges looking to see the tempo of the music matching the rhythm of the horse's footfalls. This extended trot. Again, lovely harmony balance back into that collected trot.
I think it's pretty certain there'll be an awful lot of people singing along. Musical theatre fans as this great selection from Lotta Wallin celebrating Greece.
And when you're selecting your music, you're looking for something to enhance your performance. And as a rider, you really need to love the music you're riding to inspire you to your best performance. And she's obviously knows that this trot of the horse, the extended trot, is a highlight. Popping that back in again. Many of these grade 5 horses working at the higher levels in open dressage. These riders gaining 60%, 70% of our para riders gaining more experience through open competition because of the nature of the sport, para sport, there not being so frequent a competition for them to attend.
Is that somewhere where it'd be great to the sport to have more frequent para events?
It certainly would, and so the nations can come out against each other more, see each other in competition, but it's developing all the time. Get just a little bit of loss of harmony, loss of concentration there, a few little incidents creeping in, but back under control. Of course, listening again, the ears just flopping out sideways slightly, a little bit back.
John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John duo. Certainly leading us a merry dance.
And again, the riders popping in these extra movements, the harder movements, the tempi change, is the 3 times, 4 times changes, and maybe the half pirouettes and counter. They're looking to up their artistic marks of choreography. Double coefficient, simple change. And the judges, the riders will have listened to their music. They'll know every bar of the music. They'll know exactly where they need to be at any given time. And the judges, obviously they know the movements that are coming, but not necessarily the order. So you want to be make sure you're very precise in what you're showing, so it's quite obvious that that is the compulsory movement you're showing. Very expressive ending.
A strike of lightning for Sweden. Lotta Wallin with question mark. Such a short spell together, and in just 3 months, bringing fabulous performance to this freestyle event. 8th in the individual event. And also taking part as Sweden finished 14th in the team event. But a final bow in our first experience of a Paralympic Games.
And you've mentioned they've only been together 3 months, so it does take time to hone your partnership. But again, they are showing some really quality work here. And certainly we have many riders throughout the grades who have trained their own horses. It takes many years to get them to this level. And when you take on a horse that's been trained by someone who doesn't have a physical impairment, then you're obviously having to work with the way the horse has already been trained, and you're having to teach the horse your own methods.
Well, certainly, Wallin seems like question mark is the one that she wants. And we'll wait to see what score they have produced.
Qui prennent le leadership sur les prestations sportives, notamment Slattery, avant de connaître les notes donc de la carrière suédoise qui elle vient de quitter la piste pour la laisser libre à l'Allemagne, qui dans quelques secondes va pouvoir le privilège aussi de dérouler son programme en musique.
And Germany will be joining us. We are still with grade 5 with three different gates, obviously walk, trot and canter for our 8-horse ride combinations who are competing. Ireland, Australia, we have 2 for Belgium, 2 for Germany. We've seen Sweden. There's also Great Britain who will be competing here to make up our top 8 in grade 5.
Alors les 8 meilleurs effectivement de ce grade et puis parmi ceux-ci aussi déjà.
So just a need for a little bit of protection. It's only a slight drizzle. Nothing dramatic enough. But Lotta Wallin, 70.565, 4th place overall as things stand.
72.565, that's the average score artistically and technically for Swedes. Lotta Wallin and a 4th place for her so far.
Isabelle Novak with Syracuse Old, world number 5, already medalled in the team event. How will this freestyle go for her? Obviously not a medal for herself, but Team Germany, of course. She very much part of the team, although of course they could only pick 3. So after watching on from the sidelines, ready to bring some more success, they hope, to the team. Already a silver medal, the freestyle grade 4 with Anna-Lena Neuss. The grade 5. It is now just past the halfway stage of our 8 riders. Isabelle Novak going out 5th. Well, the Top Gun anthem is lurking to certainly fly high with her freestyle performance.
Getting her freestyle underway as soon as she enters at A, halt immediately. Quality of these horses here at Paris 2024 is so high, and the bar keeps rising all the time. Lovely collected trot into the extended, just losing balance there, and that is part of the issue with you want the expression, you want to show a clear difference, but it's a fine line between keeping the control and losing the balance.
But of course, when you make a mistake, it's so important to refocus on what you can still control.
Most definitely. It'll be interesting to see if she has another line of the extended trot in her program. Riders will often have a spare line that they can use, or maybe performing the movement twice anyway within the program. You get the clear over track, the hind legs stepping over the hoof print left by the front legs in this extended walk. The lengthening of the whole horse's body, the lengthening of the frame. And riders often keeping within one theme within the music, but not always.
Sticking with the forgettable sounds of Hans Zimmer. The majority of it, Top Gun not being a maverick with her music choice.
Yeah, the flying changes, not compulsory movements, riders popping them in. 3 times or the 4 times changes to earn the artistic marks and the choreography. Simple change there, double coefficient. So important to get those clear walk steps within that transition to be scoring the higher marks. And again, a rider will often have cues in the music. They'll know their music inside out. They know exactly where those are coming up. So even if they're not quite at the point, the place in the arena that they expect it to be, they know that that is their marker point. Canter half pass. That is a compulsory movement. Lovely balance, the clear 3-beat rhythm, the jump in the canter. And the rider's looking for expressive phrases in the music so they can show these extended paces.
So another Paralympic debutante, but only called up last month with her horse Syracuse Old after fellow rider Martina Benzinger had to withdraw after the sad news of her horse's Nautica passing away. But she has grabbed her opportunity and looks absolutely radiant. So difficult to come in late, but a quality pairing, showing the best they can. And now it's up to the judges' scores, 5 of them judging technical and artistic, and then producing the final score. 73.010 at the moment from Kevin Van Am, the score to beat for gold. Well, we already saw at the start with their Slattery replacing Rodolfo Riscala. One rider's disappointment is another's opportunity, and if you're the latter, you have to grasp it.
You really do. You just take every opportunity that passes your way. Lovely expression in the trot, and into the half pass and the canter. And the 5 judges that are invited to these competitions, they are the highest level judges. The list 5 judges, they're from around the world, different nations.
So really soaking up every moment in the French drizzle, but nothing to dampen hers or the crowd's enthusiasm on this last day of Para-Equestrian at the Paralympics. Always tough to say goodbye, but it has been another magical event. Isabelle Novak into first place, 73.540. Bit of a wait to find out if it's enough for gold or even a medal.
73.540. Isabelle Novak is
So Isabelle Novak holding court over Kevin van Am of Belgium and Lisa Martin of Australia. The virtual podium, Sarah Slattery and Lotta Wallin at the moment 4th and 5th. Just 3 riders to go. Very soon we're going to have our first confirmed medalist. Only after this next performance. It's already a bronze medal in pocket, although Team GB failing in the team event. Sophie Wells, the world #1 with Samoa for this freestyle event.
And so many of the horses here and the debutants who are just growing in confidence. A lot of them have only experienced the crowds and the flags at this event. As I say, and they're all settling. The horses just showing their calmness. The temperament so paramount in a para-dressage horse.
Well, Sophie Wells, well stacked in medals, 4 golds, 4 silvers, and she completed her Paralympic medal collection with a bronze in the individual event. How will she fare as she attacks the freestyle? Juliet's Dream, her introduction. Queen Mab and Come Gentle Knight. She'll be hoping to come back later for medals, but for now, focus in the backdrop, Chateau de Versailles, but it's Sophie Wells and Edgar Samoa.
The artistic marks is the suitability, the music for the horse, matching the horse footfalls, the beat of the music.
It was a freestyle silver in London, then Rio. Edged off the podium in 4th 3 years ago. Sophie Wells wants to add to her earlier bronze.
Riders looking to be as creative as they can, as inventive as they can in their choreography. And the higher level marks. Extended trot, compulsory movement. The half passes in the trot with double marks. The ankle there shown in the shoulder in, looking for that to be consistent throughout the length of the shoulder in. The adaptive tack you see here, the looped reins. The rider can give the contact to allow the horse to stretch. marked on artistic and technical marks. The artistic marks, the rhythm, energy and elasticity of the paces, the harmony, the riding skills and the choreography, all worth 4 times the marks. Just some anticipation. That'll be interesting to see if Sophie pops in another simple change.
Well, Great Britain, the dominant force in the overall para-equestrian medal table, 34 golds, 20 silvers and 10 bronze before arriving in Paris. The final day to try and grasp another golden moment. Sophie Wells and Samoa finishing their freestyle under, to be used to, typically British-looking weather. But can she weather the storm and head towards the podium? We'll have to wait on the judges' scores for technical and artistic performance. Union Jacks in support. Not been the dominance of old from Team GB, but still having grabbed some metal. 3 bronze across Paris 2024's para-equestrian. Will they medal again?
This half bar's worth the double coefficients of the riders. As accurate as they can.
I don't think you can blame that on the rain.
No, very emotional times.
There's so much that goes on in the background, and as you mentioned, the years. And
that's it. It's the team behind the team as well.
73.540 is the score to beat for gold as things stand, but there are still 2 to come, including the individual gold medalist. Standing out, and Sophie Wells stand out from the rest.
That's right, Yannick. At the moment, our best marks are 73.540. That's for Germany's Isabelle Novak, our top 3 currently. Belgium's Kevin Van Hamhoek second, and third place for Roman for Australia's Lisa.
So still waiting on Sophie Wells' score, but here comes the now current individual event gold medalist. Incredibly proud moment. So Michele George, the world number 4, and now reigning Paralympic individual event medalist. Can she add a freestyle? Sophie Wells into the gold medal position, 75.445%. Sets her up for a nervous wait with 2 to ride.
Ces 6 médailles d'or aux Jeux paralympiques devraient suffire à avoir vos mains pour saluer donc la venue cette fin de matinée de Michele Georges. Voici la Belgique.
As we have now two Belgian 50 years of age,
So Michele George
is
absolutely fantastic in the individual final. 76.692, taking her to gold ahead of Regina Misbel Camp and Sophie Wells. So it could yet be those three again on the podium. And if they are, what order will it be? So Warner Brothers theme tune, the backdrop before Michele George's performance gets underway with Best of 8. Another one clearly a fan of films. Mafia, How to Train Your Dragon. Back with a little bit of Forrest Gump in her musical programme.
Michele, a coach in home right, so she certainly knows how to coach her horse. Judge is looking for the music to match the pace of the horse, the tempo, the rhythm. Looking for phrases in the music that suit the extended paces. Best of 8, the ears sideways, listening to the rider. Communicating together all the way.
Well, she's been the woman to beat in the freestyle event. Gold in London and Rio at grade 4. Matching that in Tokyo in grade 5. So looking for 4 straight freestyle Paralympic golds.
Just to say, the difference in grades that she was riding then was due to the change in the labelling of the test, because we've always had 5 grades of riders, but we used to have 1A, 1B, 2, 3 and 4. And now, just to make it a little bit easier to follow, we go 1 to 5. So she's always been riding at this level. It's just the number change. And again, super harmony being shown. That stretch, still on a contact with the reins in the extended walk. Riders needing to show a minimum of 20 meters in the extended and the collected. Very strong canter beat here. Good clear walk steps. Looking for the higher level of the marks. Just looking for the jump and the counter, the engagement of the hind leg of the horse.
Will it be another golden performance from Michele George? She has been the dominant force in grade 5 and already 1 gold in her pocket. We'll wait to see if it will challenge the current leading score of Sophie Wells, 75.445. And in the Parisian rain, brilliant performance from the Red Devil from Belgium. A nervous wait for the scoring. And the important thing, because Michele George was the penultimate rider, Sophie Wells is confirmed as having a second medal. The question now is really of colour, and still 1 rider to come.
All to play for our final rider. But here the harmony shines through again. The test just flows. Judges then looking for the artistic marks, looking for the riding skills, the choreography and the harmony and the rhythm.
Well, 81.470. She has once again reigned supreme. It's not yet confirmed, but currently in for gold. So Michele George with best of 8, way out in front. Sophie Wells and the Belgian confirmed a medal. It's just about exactly where Isabelle Novak with a very nervous wait as her compatriot prepares to go out last.
Second place for the women group was Sophie Wells and Isabelle Novak for Germany, who has then got 1 last combination to come.
Well, the weather may have changed, but certainly the focus of our competitors will not. And now the woman who will define the grade 5 event. The 8th and final rider. Already Regina Misbel Camp with Highlanders delights. What delights are in store?
And the riders in the warm-up, they have a series of arenas in behind the arena here, and they work their way through. First of all, there'll be maybe 5 or 6 riders together warming up, and then they move to the next arena where you may have a couple of riders, and then to the final arena. For the last 5-10 minutes they'll be on their own. They have the whole arena to use, but it can be a little bit unsettling for some of them because you're having to reset your schooling at each stage as you move through. So some of the riders are choosing to come into the field of play in trot or canter just to build up the energy, just to enliven their horses.
So a progression to the biggest stage of all. Team Germany already having earned a silver and 2 bronzes. One of those moments to savor. Regina Misbel Camp and Highlander delights. Well, Star Sky to start, and Sika Sension from 2 Steps from Hell, and Thomas Bergeson certainly be aiming as high as they can, but certainly Michele George has set down a terrific time and score in order to put the pressure on.
first impression is that she certainly accepted the challenge thrown down. Looking for the straightness in that shoulder in, not using the arena boards to guide.
Regina Misbel Camp, the highest score of the German trio as they took bronze in the team event. Silver in individual. And it's added to what was already a memorable first games 3 years ago with a bronze in this event. You can see the progression the 53-year-old has made since the Paralympics in Japan.
And the music, in my opinion, suiting the horse perfectly. And the music and interpretation of the music has its own mark of 10. 10 being excellent. Just looking to change pace with changes in the music. And they will know their music inside out. Collected walk. Very rhythmical, very balanced. Good, clear difference shown between the collected and the extended. Good balance and clear steps in that double coefficient. Simple change of leg. Overall, lovely, collected, balanced impression. Awesome rider working in harmony. A compulsory movement, but unlike the trot, it's only the single mark for it, the mark out of 10. Of course, double scoring in the trot.
Our second games, bronze and silver. This game's to add to third place in the freestyle 3 years ago. She's had 4 world and European medals, but yet to find a way to gold. If she gets it, she'll know she'll have beaten the best. We'll have the same podium from the individual event, but what will be the exact order, we're not far from finding out. But a fine finale to both Regina Misbel Camp and Highlander Delights Paris 2024, as well as the end of the Grade 5 freestyle event. Nervous wait. For now, Mispelkamp can just enjoy the final few moments of the arena, the crowd, even if a little bit damp out of the Chateau de Versailles. But it shows the passion of the fans. They've stayed out in numbers. That's exactly why umbrellas and jackets were made. Well, a delightful performance from Highlander and Mispelkamp. So far, Sophie Wells and Michele George will medal again. This women's score will define the order.
Whatever happens today, Yannick should be taking home an individual silver medal. She also has that team bronze from the performance yesterday. Will she be adding another medal today? And it's so in one colour in a moment.
C'est super, hein? Le suspense garanti. Avant de vous libérer, vous inviter bien sûr à aller vous restaurer le temps.
Suspense after a thrilling competition, but it's silver once again for Mispelkamp, 79.550. We have the same podium as the individual event. But wow, there was one of the biggest scores, I think maybe the biggest score we've seen. Michele George of Belgium, best of 8. She is the best. Continues to be the golden girl of grade 5. Well, we did see a big, was it 9.1? But that shows that across the 5 judges, that is why we have different scores to aggregate from.
That's it. In that artistic, she hit 91%. That's got to be the highest one I've seen. But it was just a super flowing test. So much to love and like. Expression, just the calmness, the harmony. These are definitely ones to watch for the future.
The future is certainly bright. Well, 3 years ago, Mispelkamp took bronze behind Frank Hosmar of the Netherlands. Who else but Michele George was golden, and she is once again. Michele George, a best of 8, topping with the only 80+ percentage. Regina Misbel Camp and Sophie Wells in silver and bronze again. Isabelle Novak unable to make it. A German double on the podium. Evan Van Ham, Lisa Martin, Sarah Slattery and Lotta Wallin completing the grade 5 freestyle table.